Love. Abundance. Vindication. Resolve. Security. At long last. I'm not myself, I have to admit. It seems as though, against my most better judgment, I happen to have fallen in love. The funny thing is, I've been denying it for a while, and I'm still not sure if it'll work. Would you believe me if I told you that I distracted myself completely with something else? Somewhere where I could lie to myself? Would you believe me if I told you that I can't lie to myself anymore? And that's something I've been afraid to do for a very long time. May very well be exactly what I've been looking for. But the risks are great. Could it be? I can't help but feel that someone else's hand is on this. Like I'm being deceived. Probably by myself. There is so much that I need to address. So much that needs to be said. So much I don't want to say. Why does it feel like it's always the people closest to you that have all the knives? And yet, what if we took those knives and we saved them? What if we got smart? What if we made a little room in our shells for a little ammunition? Do you have any room to protect yourself? And where would you hide the swords anyway? There is nowhere to hide them. Once you're in the shell, there are no separate rooms. It's just one big loft space. And your love and your weakness is there, fully on display. Be it you or the person you invite in. Can this be a time of great celebration? Of course. Must you tread very carefully? Of course. We know when it's time. We always know. We can feel it. But do you feel like someone made you feel and it wasn't real? Do you feel like you may have been misled even if it was just by yourself? You're right. But I think the entire point of misleading yourself and then having to say the truth was to learn finally how to speak for yourself, and not for the world, and not for love, and not for the universe, and not for karma, not for every mother or anyone who's ever been in love. Cardinal love is what we are. How to speak truth about what we are. What are we? A wrapped up ball of emotions? Maybe. Hair trigger sensitivity? Maybe. Maybe just an urge jumping from rock to rock. Gambling against the tide. To have a little fun. To eat something. To mate. To breed. Cancerians are simple. Your wants are never extravagant. You want the minimum. And yet how short people fall. But now the minimum has changed, hasn't it? You give to yourself so much that you change your fate. You don't let yourself settle. You say it how it is. You go and grab what you want. And of course, there is a chance that you are under a delusional spell and you will awake and think, oh my God, what happened? Sure. So what? Why am I still shuffling? Good question. I don't know. We never know. We just know. It gets better and bigger and brighter and so much more your own. So much more your own. Yours. Your own. That's what we were waiting for. Hi, Cancer. Welcome to part 2 of your reading. I apologize for the construction noise outside, and also if you hear me pause here and there, it's because I'm drinking water, and I suggest you do the same. Mercury retrograde in Scorpio season has been quite noisy. The static is very high, and it seems as though the messages have to travel from quite a depth to get to the surface and become any sort of sound. So if the sound for any reason feels off, or if the construction noise is truly irritating, I apologize. But let's get to it. So let's start up here. 2 of Cups, and then the 9 of Cups. The feelings are very strong. The feelings are so strong that you have 1 extra cup. The cups runneth over. The messages are also fervent. There is a time of great completion coming up for you. And yet, there are some unresolved communications that really need to be dealt with. They need to be faced head on. You need to be brave in facing what ultimately is the establishment, the norm, the thing that you have thought you've wanted for a long time, and yet here we are, and it's not quite what you expected. Also, there are those of you who are leaving relationships or being left because of an addictive quality that you have not been able to get a handle on. There's a lot that wants to be communicated to you. Don't be surprised if there are people coming out of the woodwork trying to tell you what they think of your life and which direction that chariot should be facing. But I think it's very important right now for you not to be listening to anyone. I think your Queen of Pentacles energy needs to emerge right now, and you need to make the monies. And you need to focus on making the monies, because the love department, it's a very make or break time in the love department. This is a clock that was set in motion a while ago. I don't think there's anything you can actively do now to change it. It's more about just understanding it. What happens when a Cancer gets exactly what a Cancer thinks they want? Do they fight or flight? Do they engage or run? Do they self-sabotage? Or do they rise to the occasion? Cancers are definitely the sign where it's very hard to tell. It can really go either way. If you are able to find the Empress energy, if you are able to tap into how deeply others feel for you right now, if you can get some grasp on how hypnotizing and how intoxicating your energy is to others, you can very quickly spiral up into that Empress archetype and have quite a lot of abundance flow towards you, a lot of happiness. But if you are consumed with the lies we tell ourselves, 7 of Swords, or the lies we allow other people to tell us, because as Cancerians, there is no lying to us. We must acquiesce to the lie. We must also go along for that ride, even though we know it's false. Even though we know it's a road to nowhere. Right? Do we let that spiral pull us down? The downward spiral, do we get into that groove? Is that the vibe? The Hierophant and the Ten of Cups really wants to know which direction you want to take this grounding, time to get serious, time to get into a long-term relationship energy. And here are some of you, Three of Cups, going, yeah, I think I'd rather just go back to wishing for it instead of actually having it. But the Three of Wands is there to say, hey, be better. Be better. Leave it behind. Cancer, do you perhaps think that you can't leave it behind? Sometimes Cancerians can get into this interesting space where they believe that their self-sabotage techniques are their personality. And so to leave behind the toxic parts of them would be to leave behind what makes them unique. And that is not so. Not at all. But you may feel in a lot of ways like your shell is getting cut too short. You know, when your nails get cut too short, you're being trimmed a little short here. Because with the Three of Wands there, you having to move out of the self-destructive space that you have perhaps been in all your life and venture into the unknown, not quite prepared enough. And what do you encounter? The Judgment and the Chariot. The energy of the angel blowing the trumpet. Everything has to be known. Everything has to be said as it is. The truth. The execution of the truth. Judgment. And from there, you hitch your chariot in the direction that early December gives you. And I suspect that direction will be money. Focus on your money. And if you have Sag placements or Gemini placements, you may feel like someone is trying very desperately to hang on to you. And you may also feel like there are Libras around you whose life is falling apart. And you yourself may also feel, because of all this happening around you, like you are very, very stuck. And you may feel like somehow these people have also kept you stuck. But do not worry. Help is on the way. All right, let's get into the extended right now since I already started it. Love you. Oh, the rings. We're going to be doing a Black Friday event in New York, me and Carolina. So you can get them there. And then there's an event in London on March 6th. Woohoo! Okay, bye.